Rob here at Etrailer.com, and today you're going to be taking a look at the Etrailer Class 3 custom fit trailer hitch receiver on our 2011 Honda Odyssey. Now here's what our hitch is going to look like once we have it installed. The cross tube is going to sit right below the bumper, but it does have that nice carbide flat black finish on it, so it is going to blend in a little bit better than most standard hitches with that high gloss finish. Now our hitch is a Class 3, which means it's going to give us that 2" by 2" receiver tube opening, and it's going to have the widest variety of options when it comes to accessories that we can mount up. Maybe we want to take a couple bikes with us on a trip, we can put a bike rack in here. Maybe we need to make room for passengers or pets on the inside, we can put a cargo carrier in here, get some of that gear to the outside of our van, or maybe we need to tow a small trailer and we can put a ball mount in there. But regardless of however we're going to be using it, all of our accessories are going to mount through the hitch pin hole here on the side. The hitch is going to accept a standard 5/8 pin and clip. Now while these are not included with the kit, you can find them here at Etrailer.com along with some locking devices to make sure your accessories are secure. Now if you are going to be towing a trailer, obviously you need a spot to hook up your safety chains. And our connection point is going to be a plate style welded to the bottom, and as you can see with most size hooks, we'll have no problem getting them on or off. Just with some smaller ones, you kind of want to come from the front because you can see that flange here is going to make it extremely difficult to get them hooked on. Regardless of how you're going to be using your hitch, you want to make sure that it's up to the test that you put it to. So as far as the weight rating goes, our hitch is going to have a 350-pound tongue weight. That's going to be the maximum downward force at the end of the receiver tube. It'll be great for some of those larger bike racks, carrying 4 or 5 bikes, or really maximizing the carrying capacity of those larger cargo carriers. Now if you are going to be using it to pull a trailer, our hitch is going to have a 3,500-pound gross trailer weight rating. That's how much it can pull, but that does include the trailer and everything you have loaded on it. Now it is designed to work with weight distribution systems as well, and that's going to be a separate component that's mounted on your trailer. But it's going to bump the tongue weight up to 500 pounds and the gross trailer weight rating up to 5,000 pounds. But with all those numbers in mind, you do want to double check your Odyssey's owner's manual because you don't want to exceed the manufacturer's recommended weight. Now I'd like to give you a few measurements. These are going to help you whenever you're looking for accessories for your hitch, like a ball mount, a bike rack, or even a cargo carrier. From the center of the hitch pin hole to the outermost edge of the bumper is right about 5.5 inches. And that measurement's going to help you out when you're looking at folding accessories to make sure you have enough room and they're not going to come in contact with the rear bumper. From the ground to the inside top edge of the receiver tube opening, it's going to be right about 14 inches. Now that measurement's not only going to help you when you're looking for a ball mount to find the appropriate riser drop to match up to your trailer, but that height I would also recommend a bike rack or a cargo carrier that has a raised shank. That way we can get a little bit more ground clearance out of it. But now that we've seen what our hitch looks like and gone over some of the features, let's get it installed together. To begin our installation, we're going to come to the bottom of our Odyssey at the very back, and we want to come to the driver's side. Here we're going to find this appearance panel right at the bottom, and along the edge here we'll have a few push pin fasteners that we're going to have to pull out. So you want to grab a flat blade screwdriver. We'll come underneath the center section of our push pin. You want to pop that center section out first. That's going to release the tension off the clip. Once you have the center worked out like that, you can come underneath the base and we'll pull out the rest of the push pin. And we're going to repeat that for the other 2 remaining push pins we have over here. Now if we move forward on that panel, just right by our tire, we'll have this little notch here. Directly up on top of this panel, we're going to have a nut that's holding it in place. So you want to grab a 10mm socket and we'll pull it out. Now we're going to have one more fastener. It's going to be the very corner here right inside the wheel well. There'll be a little screw, so you want to grab a Phillips screwdriver or a bit and pull that screw out. Now since it is very limited on space here, you probably want to use a Phillips bit and a ratcheting driver like I am, because I don't know if you're going to be able to fit a full-size screwdriver with the tire in the way. Then we'll pull our panel down and we can set it aside. Now underneath that panel we'll find our frame rail. Now 2 of the holes that are in the bottom are going to be threaded. Those are going to be your 2 mounting locations. And we need to make sure that those weld nuts are nice and clean and there's no dirt, debris, or rust inside. So I'm going to spray a little bit of spray lubricant inside each one of the weld nuts. And we'll come back with a nylon brush. and I'm going to clean it all out as best as I can. And we're going to go back and repeat this for all of our weld nuts, the 2 on each side of the frame. Now once you have your weld nuts cleaned out, you want to grab one of the new bolts out of your kit, and we're going to make sure that we can easily thread it into each one of the weld nuts, that we're not going to have any issues cross-threading or any kind of debris being in the way. Now if you still can't get your bolts in easily and it's still wanting to kind of mar up or cross-thread, you're going to want to grab an M12 by 1.25 tap, and you can clean out the threads using a tap. Now on the driver's side, we're going to have one more mounting location, and if we come to the threaded holes, we're going to move forward one, skip it, and move to the next one. This is going to be our 3rd mounting location. So we want to grab our pull wire, and I'm going to put a bend in it, just like that. Then I'm going to feed the coiled end into the mounting hole, and then I'm going to have it go forward, and the goal here is to have it come out the large hole right here. So you can, if you need to, you just reach in with your finger, kind of help guide the coiled end to come down. Now you want to make sure that the tail end's still sticking out and you have the coiled end sticking out as well. And we'll grab our spacer block. It's going to have a square hole in it. We'll slide it over the coiled wire, and we'll push it into the frame. Then we'll grab our carriage bolt, and we're going to thread it onto the end of our wire. We're going to push everything back into the frame, and then we'll pull on the end of our tail until the bolt drops down, engaging that block. At this point we can get ready to put our hitch up, but I'd like to go over the combination of hardware we're going to use before we put it up so it'll be a little bit easier to see. For our carriage bolt that's coming down through the frame, we're going to be securing it to our hitch using a flange nut. So we'll lift it up, have our bolt drop down through, we'll secure it with the flange nut, and then for our 2 weld nuts, as well as the other side of the frame, we'll have our M12 bolt, and we're going to have a conical tooth washer. Now, there's going to be little teeth on there. You want to make sure those are facing up towards the hitch. We'll go through our hitch and then secure it directly into the weld nut. Now with the next set of hands, we're going to lift our hitch up. You want to make sure you feed your pull wire through the corresponding hole. I'm going to go over your exhaust on the passenger side, and we'll lift it up. We'll line our hitch up, the holes in the frame, as well as having that bolt drop down through. And you just want to secure it on each side with at least one piece of hardware. That way the hitch will hold itself up, and we can work on getting the rest of the hardware in place. I'm going to come back with a 19mm socket, and I'm going to snug up all my hardware. I'm going to come back with a torque wrench and torque all my hardware down to the specified amount in the instructions. We're going to repeat that for all of our remaining hardware. Once you have everything torqued down, you do have the option of putting the driver's side appearance panel back on. However, you're going to have to trim it, and in our application we're going to be leaving it off. Well, now that everything's tight, that'll finish up your installation and your look at the Etrailer Class 3 custom fit trailer hitch receiver on our 2011 Honda Odyssey.